From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you. Coming up next is Live at 5 on WCTE and our streaming platforms to give you updates on communities throughout the Upper Cumberland.
Hi there, and welcome to Live at 5. We're coming live to you from the Putnam County Emergency Operations Center. I'm Becky McGurra, President and CEO of WCTE, your Upper Cumberland PBS station. I'm so excited to have with me Connie Albright. Connie, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you for the invitation. I'm happy to be here.
Now, you're going to talk to us about the census, and tell me how you're associated with the census.
Well, I missed a meeting, to tell you the truth. I was elected the chair of the Putnam County Census Count Committee, and we shortened that to Putnam Counts. And so the first meeting, I was out of state and got elected chair, so that's why I am here. But it's such a good cause. I mean, it's something that everybody needs to be informed about and encouraged to participate.
So why don't you explain why that is? I mean, we talk about the U.S. Census. How often does it happen? Why is it important? Why is each county actually involved in it?
I could probably take all day, but I won't. It started in 1790. The Congress had put into the Constitution that we would have a census every 10 years. And so that's what we have been doing since 1790. We count every...
Oh, sorry. I just decided to jump on my live here thing. Keep going.
Okay.
Keep going.
The census gives businesses information about what they can do with their companies, whether they want to locate in certain areas. More important, though, it gives you governmental monies that come into our counties and into our cities.
Okay, we're going to talk more about the census because you're going to be with us in this half hour, so don't go away. We're going to talk more about this because it is really important, and I am streaming live on Facebook. That's why I was trying to check on that. We're going to step away for just a few moments with a recap of our mayor's briefings and our press conferences this week, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
As things begin to open, remember, you still have the freedom to choose. You can choose to shop there or not. You can choose to eat there or not. Governor Lee announced Friday guidelines on reopening Tennessee businesses. According to him, this will be a phased-in approach. We can only report what we are getting from the governor's office. We will post any new information as we receive it. Please remember that the governor issued the executive orders to close businesses, so the governor is the only person that can open businesses back up.
Also, we want to continue to remind you about our tornado cleanup. We're getting very close to being finished. This coming weekend, May the 2nd, will be our last when it comes to volunteers working in the area. I want to personally thank the thousands of volunteers that have given of their time to help the tornado survivors. If you own property in the tornado damage zone, we need you to get your debris out to the county right-of-way by the street. Due to all the rain we have had, the cleanup company will start its final pass on May the 4th and will expect to be finished that week. Also want to remind you again about your Census 2020 form. You can do it 3 different ways this time. Mail it in, go online and fill it out at the 2020census.gov, or you can phone in by 844-330-2020.
But the crisis is not over. Through cooperation and practicing caution, we'll remain warned strong as we combat the challenges that we face each and every day. We must stay united in our efforts and communicate and be a team, but together we can do this.
Please keep in mind that your utilities, gas, water, electric, the bills still have to be paid. Some of you are experiencing financial difficulties, and that's understandable. These utilities, however, cannot forgive your bills. There are many utilities who have put a moratorium on their cutoff policy, but that's not a forgiveness of your bill. These bills are still owed, and they are still due.
With the UCHRA, I wanted to tell you a little bit about our programs that can help everyone right now. Some of the services that we provide, first off, is electric. So Mr. Neiman talked about if your bills are late, you can call us, you can email us. We also have vulnerable population and reward to work. These are programs that might help you with your rent. We also help with commodities if you're needing help with food.
We certainly have a number of open beds and capacity from a nursing perspective, from a physician perspective, and equipment perspective, and continue to monitor that on a daily basis to make sure that we're able to provide the services that the community needs and expects.
COVID-19 testing continues at the health department. Since our last meeting, we have tested over 284 patients there.
While we at the Chamber are not business experts, we are business advocates, and we are continuing to work diligently to get the information and tools Warren County needs to navigate this pandemic.
These are yesterday's numbers because we do not have new numbers yet today from the state. Cannon County had 11, Clay County had 5, Cumberland County had 74, DeKalb had 14, Fentress had 4, Jackson had 7, Macon 39, Overton County 8, Smith County 20, Van Buren County 2, Warren County 7, and White County had 6. Again, Putnam County, as of yesterday, had 119 confirmed cases, which was 6 more than yesterday.
Remote learning continues in Putnam County through May 15th. I'm asking that students and parents please remain engaged in working with us for 2 more weeks. In many cases, I'm hearing from parents, students and parents, that they're concerned about grades, and teachers are entering some grades in Power School. The purpose of the grades is to keep both students and parents informed about the students' understanding and the mastery of the content that they're being presented. It's true that a student's grade will not be lower than it was on March 13th when we closed for spring break. Students can improve their grades or yearly averages during this time, but grades will not be lower than they were as of March 13th. We will continue to provide meals on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays through Wednesday, May the 20th. We're going to take a short break at that time, give the ladies a little bit of a break, and then we'll come back Monday, June 1st for the summer feeding program.
As we think about our response to this unprecedented challenge, I first, again, would commend our local officials and our state officials for the leadership that they have demonstrated throughout this response.
Updating you on the numbers, Putnam County now has 121 positives, which is 2 more than yesterday.
All right. Thank you for following the mayors and all of our elected officials actually update over the past week. So happy to have with me Connie Albright. Connie, you're the chair of the Putnam County Census, and you're calling it Putnam Counts, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
So we're talking about the U.S. Census, and you said it started in 1790. So this isn't a new thing for people to do. So what keeps them from doing it?
Well, I think that some people are afraid that that their information is not secure, and all of their information is held very confidential. In fact, it cannot be released for 72 years.
Wow. And
so by the time it's released, the information that comes in with this census, I won't be around.
Well, probably most people won't be around, although you count every individual. Is that right?
Yes, every individual that has lived in your household as of April the 1st, and we want everybody. They are doing the colleges, they're doing homeless, they're doing the nursing homes, prisons, just every place, everybody that lives in our nation.
And so they've made it easier this year, I think, than ever before, especially with this whole COVID thing. We're not having people go door to door, which is what the census it used to be, right? Or do they still have that?
They will still have that.
Okay, they will still have it. Well, what are some ways, though, that they're getting people to do it right now?
Right now, they can respond online.
Okay.
They can go to my2020census.gov, and you can respond online. If you received your letter in the mail, you will have a code on there that you can input. But if you don't have that, you can still respond, and it will ask you, your address, and you can respond that way. Mm-hmm. You can respond by telephone, and the telephone number for English-speaking people is 844-330-2020. And if you need other languages, you can go online to the uscensus.gov, and they will give you more telephone numbers.
So
And then you still can respond through the mail also.
Oh, you
So,
can?
Yes.
Okay,
You
great.
can fill out your form and mail it back in if you want to do that. Now, if you don't do any of these, you're going to have somebody knocking on your door.
Okay. So the knocking comes later. Huh?
Yes.
So how have people been responding in Putnam County, but sort of in the Upper Cumberland as well?
Well, we are really happy to say that across the nation we have broken 50% of the households have responded.
Wow.
That's about 80 million households.
That's amazing.
Yes. And the number is 55.6% for our nation. Tennessee has reached 54.8%, and I am proud to say that Putnam County has reached 59%.
But you want 100%, right?
We would love to have 100%. I don't think we're going to get 100% this way, but if we could get over 75%, we would be really happy. That would just leave 25% that they would have to go find,
Right.
knock on their doors and get their information.
So what's we'll be back talking about this again, but why is it so important? You mentioned a little bit about business, but also government services are very dependent on this, right?
Oh, yes. There is $675 billion that is funneled into our cities, our counties, our state. And depending on your census, the numbers that they receive there determines how much money you're going to get. This takes care of our roads, our fire departments, and a lot of different things that we have going for us. Health care, political representation, roads, schools, businesses. So much that we could do with so much more. We need to get our share.
Absolutely. Okay, guys, Upper Cumberland, fill out your census forms, get them back in. We're going to have Tyler Asher is coming up here. He is with the Small Business Association. Connie will be back. Don't go away. It's live at 5 right here.
How will 2020 census data be used? Where there are more people, there are more needs for public services. That's why the census is used by the government to inform funding decisions each year. But that's not all. It's also used by nonprofits to inform services, by businesses to create jobs, and even by students for school projects. Understanding how the population changes helps us shape communities across the country for the better. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
All right, Tyler Asher. Tyler, wipe that mic down. We're practicing the CDC guidelines right here at WCTE's Live at 5. We're at the Putnam County Emergency Operations Center. This is our studio here. Special thanks to our EOC team, Brandon Smith and Jeff Rami and Kip Poe. Thank you guys so much. And, of course, Mayor Randy Porter for being a visionary behind this.
That's right.
So tell me about the SBA. You're operating out of the Upper Cumberland Development District now, right?
We are. The Small Business Development Center is in a partnership with TTU, and then we are housed over, we're under the Development District wing, but we're housed over at UCHRA because the Development District didn't have enough space.
Okay.
So we are blessed to be over at the UCHRA under the Development District side, and we are excited to be back open and running, and just in this time of need, it's exciting to get to help businesses. I was a previous business owner. Now I'm in this role. It's very exciting with all the programs that are out. It's a blessing.
Tyler, I just can't thank you enough. The SBA, they have been remarkable. I'm telling you, I think the payroll protection plan that's out, and you've been helping people. How many people have you helped with that?
I've helped a lot of businesses. I would say probably in the last 3 to 4 weeks, we've been upwards of 70 businesses we've impacted, we've touched, we've helped them get in the right direction. My numbers this week that we look back, we've helped 1.7 million in payroll protection businesses get loans, and then roughly we're right at 3 million in the economic injury disaster loans.
Wow.
And that's just for the COVID. I don't have tornado numbers.
Now, let's talk about tornado because, of course, Putnam County was hit on March 3rd, and our Upper Cumberland region has been impacted. There is an EIDL, small business loan for EIDL, which is an emergency, right?
Correct.
So there's one specific to tornado that I didn't even know about. So explain that.
So if you are a small business located in Putnam County or any county that is touching Putnam County, you are eligible for a economic injury disaster loan - tornado. That's how they specify those. It's a little bit longer process than the COVID EIDL loan, but it is available. The deadline for that is December the 7th for an economic injury disaster loan. Now, if you have physical damage, that of course is coming up Monday, May the 4th, would be the deadline for that.
And that would be physical damage on your business in any of this area, what you just described.
Correct.
Putnam County and in adjacent counties to Putnam.
Adjacent counties will be available for the economic impact. Only Putnam County can have physical damage and economic both.
Gotcha. Okay. And that's coming up Monday, and so don't delay on that. If you want to get on the phone and check it out on Monday with Tyler, but you probably should go online to the SBA and check it out, right?
Go to sba.gov. It'll be under disaster assistance. It will be economic injury disaster loan, and it'll say other than COVID-19. You click there. It is a little bit longer process. So any physical damage, Putnam County, you have till May the 4th. And then economic injury disaster, you have until December the 7th.
And the EIDL around COVID, is that still open?
It is not open. We were on a SBA call today. They're hoping they can get all the applications pushed in to open it back up toward the end of next week. That's what we were told. So I hope they do, because I think there's still a lot of businesses that will help them. But that's what we're being told. It is currently not open. If you go to the website, it is not on there available at the moment.
So in the moment we have left before you leave, what's the most important thing you think small business needs to be doing right now?
I think right now the main thing you have to do is you have to find a way to innovate. Speaking of that, Monday, May the 4th, 6 o'clock, we're going to host a Zoom call that we are doing. It's called Zoom Up Your Revenue. We got entrepreneurs coming in from all across the Upper Cumberland just to give out ideas of how you can just innovate your business. Right now is the key time to innovate your business. I can't stress that enough. It's here. We're going to make this. There's help available. You can reach out to us. I will help you find ways to innovate. That's the number one key.
How do they find you?
The best way to find me is my direct line, 931-261-0421. That'll come directly to me. You can reach me at tasher@tsbdc.org.
Awesome. And if they even just call the Upper Cumberland Development District?
Yes, they will transfer it to me.
Awesome. Okay, thank you so much for coming out and being a part of this. And how do you get a part of that Zoom call?
There's a link on our Facebook page. It's us, the Biz Foundry, and TTU Rural Center for Innovation. So any of those, you'll find the link for it.
All right, let's Zoom up your revenue on Monday. We'll be joining Tyler. Don't go away. We'll be back with more Live at 5.
Hi, I'm Tyler Asher, Director of the Small Business Development Center here in the Upper Cumberland. The recent devastation of the tornadoes and the COVID-19, we want the Upper Cumberland business owners to know that we have your back. Our number one priority is to make sure every business knows there's help available, and our job is to help you through that process. Now more than ever, we encourage you to have a relationship with a local bank that is participating in the SBA's program. This relationship will allow them to help process the payroll protection loan and to help you retain your employees. Being housed in the Upper Cumberland Development District, it allows us to have access to multiple funding and partnering opportunities. We know that small business is the key to a good local economy, and we want to help you grow and sustain your business. Please know that there's help available, and we will get through this.
Thank you so much for watching Live at 5 here from the Putnam County Emergency Operations Center. Michelle Price is with us from the Cumberland Business Journal. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Glad to be with you.
And we're really excited to have you here. And, we're focusing a lot on business. We're focusing a lot on the census tonight because it's really key. And you've been busy because you've had some great stories about business.
There has been so much going on right now, especially with our local banks.
Mm-hmm.
It has been absolutely crazy between these PPP loans and mortgage refinancing.
They want you to get a little closer to the mic.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Between the PPP loans and mortgage refinancing, it has been just crazy.
Well, the interest rates are really favorable, right? They're wanting people they want you to be successful. They want you to have an opportunity. And the PPP was amazing. And the number of banks that had to just rev up quickly because they may not even been an SBA approved bank, right?
I had 2 or 3 different banks tell me that they literally over the weekend created an SBA department. Bank of Putnam County worked almost round the clock to do that. The First Mercantile Bank did the same thing. And even some of your banks that were already SBA lenders weren't very active in it and had to create their own department for that too.
I think I've been amazed at our local banks and how great they've been, how supportive they've been. Our local CPAs have been really directing folks to the banks, and of course, news sources like Cumberland Business Journal are so important. What's been your biggest surprise in this? I mean, this has been a huge economic challenge. So what's been maybe your top stories and your biggest surprise?
Okay, one of my biggest surprises is actually the number of loans and money that came into the Upper Cumberland. I mean, we're talking there was over $340 million that we can track that came into the Upper Cumberland, and that's without a couple of our biggest lenders, giving us their numbers.
Wow.
And a lot of your smaller local banks, people don't think, people think that all your business is here in Cookeville.
Right.
The Upper Cumberland's 14 counties, and some of our biggest lenders were Citizens Bank of Lafayette that has branches in Carthage and Gainsboro and Salina, as well as Lafayette. They did over $20 million worth of loans.
Wow.
And then you've got First Volunteer that started out in Jamestown and has branches in Cookeville and all throughout the corridor down to Chattanooga, Tullahoma. They did over 1,700 loans.
That is just astounding. Just PPP loans?
Yes.
Wow. And that PPP is Payroll Protection Plan, so it is an SBA really ratcheted up fast to help people stay employed, right?
Really. And one thing that they wanted all their customers to be really careful is when they get the guidelines, when they close the loans, make sure that they abide by the guidelines, because bankers are worried that there's probably going to be 40% of these that end up not being forgiven because people aren't paying attention and tracking everything the way they need to.
Okay, that's a really important piece. So if you got it for payroll, I know you have to use 75% of that money for payroll for it to be forgivable. I mean, that's huge. So are you going to be writing stories on that?
I'm going to be writing stories on that. What's interesting, I've got a story coming out tracking 3 borrowers and how they got their loans. And one of them told me that when he first applied, his application and his numbers were off 17 cents, and it got turned down. Oh. And he had to go back and correct it, and then it was funded.
Wow, that's amazing.
You don't think 17 cents would make that big of a difference, but it really does when you're talking the federal government.
Right.
And then you have a couple of banks. American Bank and Trust didn't participate at all in the PPP loan program because interest rates have dropped so far. They have 6 times their normal amount of mortgages, and they were working with other banks. They're taking mortgage customers and sending their PPP customers to other banks.
Okay, well, that's good. That's good teamwork.
A lot of cooperation in the Upper Cumberland right now.
All right, we're going to be out of time. Michelle, how can they find the Cumberland Business Journal?
UCBjournal.com. Sign up. When it comes on, you'll get a thing where you can put your email in, and when you do, I will send you all of our top stories every week.
Upper Cumberland Business Journal. Don't miss it. I keep calling it Cumberland Business Journal, but it's because we're in the Upper Cumberland, right?
We used to just be the Cumberland Business Journal.
Yeah, that goes way back.
Cover all 14.
I'm so excited that you're here. Hopefully you'll come back. We'll be doing more of this.
I would love to come back.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle Price. And don't go away. We'll be right back. Connie Albright's going to come back. We've got some Facebook questions about the census, so don't go away.
The Upper Cumberland Business Journal specifically serves business professionals and community leaders in the 14-county Upper Cumberland region of Tennessee. Our mission is to promote the advancement and overall well-being of business in the Upper Cumberland region. For more information, you can visit ucbjournal.com.
All right, great information about business and about the Upper Cumberland Business Journal, how you can find them. Great stories. Michelle does a great job writing these stories. And Connie, we're going to have some questions here, important questions about the census. And thank you all for writing and tuning in on Facebook and all the social media outlets, as well as our WCTE broadcast. We're really excited to have you. We're going to be doing these every Friday. Tonight's been very focused on business and the census, which goes hand in hand.
Yes, it does.
Right? So one of the questions here, and actually we've got people watching from all over the country, because I know some of you guys out there and all throughout the Upper Cumberland. Thank you for that. Connie, a question is, if a homeowner has roommates, should they include those roommates on their 2020 census?
If they live and sleep at that address the majority of the time, then yes, they do need to be included with that address.
And you mentioned Tennessee Tech students. So, you mentioned university students. Does that mean that students who are here at the time of the census, or is it people who maybe they went back to their home community at this time? How do they get counted?
Well, if they were going to be here on April the 1st, actually the census is counted for where you are living and spending most of your time on April the 1st. Okay. And normally, this is such an unusual environment that we're in right now.
Right.
But if they would normally have been here on April the 1st and living here, then they need to be counted here in Putnam County.
Okay. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to put them in the chat line here on our Facebook feed. We'll get to them in the few minutes we have left. You know, Connie, I know you are such a true giving citizen of our community, and you've served on city council, and your family are so ingrained with all that we do. Can you share with us the importance of this census to community work?
Yes, as I said before, there's $675 billion that is coming into I wish it were coming into our area, but back to the United States. And the nonprofits and a lot of people can get funding through grants and things like that through this. It's very important because, you know, the monies that the cities allow, you know, for our libraries and for other things like that, it's just so important that we have our numbers and have our numbers up to date. And it's not too late. I mean, you know, you can still go online, you can call, you can fill out your form and send it in, but it's not too late to go on ahead and get those numbers in there.
That's right. And you know, we before we wind up, tomorrow is the last day for our tornado cleanup volunteer station.
That's true.
And so if you want to make a last-ditch effort here to really help support, it's going to be a beautiful day. This has been a tremendous effort, hasn't it?
It really has been. And even FEMA is funded, you know, through a lot of this monies too. So that's something that just to get that coming back into our area is what we need.
Yeah, and for all those volunteer hours, FEMA will help give money back into the county for that. So do your part, stay apart, but you can go volunteer because they're practicing the CDC guidelines. Connie, we're out of time. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
And thank you all for tuning in and watching. We want to say a special thanks to our Lightwire team, our team here. Thanks to the WCTE team, Bobby, Craig, Brent, and everybody. And you all join us again for Live at 5.
Thank you for joining us at Live at 5. Be sure to tune in next time for additional updates on communities throughout the Upper Cumberland. From one neighbor to another, WCTE PBS is here for you.
But it was really great information. It was really good information.
Stuff with you.